Today I'm going to show you how to connect your lavalier mic or your 3.5mm on-camera shotgun mic to your audio interface or mixer to give you the options you need. Now for today's demonstration, I'm going to be using a Comica CV20. That's really similar to a Rode VideoMic NTG, and I'm going to use a Deity VLav lavalier mic. But really this will work with any microphone that has a 3.5mm TRS jack, so no matter what you have, you're good to go. Now there are many inexpensive options for making this happen, but they are not all the same. Today I'm going to use a Rode VXLR Pro. Even Rode makes 3 versions of this, and they all have very different features. Now looking at this chart of the 3 models available from Rode gives us a good idea of what we can get in the industry. Now the VXLR, or basic model, has a plastic housing and it doesn't transfer power to our microphone. So if you have a lavalier microphone or an on-camera mic that requires plug-in power, it won't work. The second option is the VXLR Plus, and this is definitely a step up with a cast metal housing. It's got a belt clip, and this one uses 12 to 48 volts of phantom power to give us that plug-in power to run our microphones. But the big step up is with the VXLR Pro. There we get all the features of the Plus, and we get a balanced output using a transformer. And that's what we want to have if we're going to get the clearest possible sound, and we need to even maybe use a longer cable run. Now the package is really straightforward here with the VXLR Pro. We'll go ahead and just open it up. You can see that there's some cardboard inside to protect it, and then we have the adapter. It's got a plastic clip, and that's pretty much all you get. The instructions are actually on the back of the box. Now the connections can be as simple as putting the adapter into your interface. Then you go ahead and connect up your microphone and turn on phantom power. But the real advantage of the XLR Pro is being able to use a balanced XLR cable. Once we connect the adapter to the cable, we can simply hook that up to our interface. Once again, go ahead and connect the microphone to the adapter and turn on phantom power. Now up to this point, you've been listening to me on the Comica CV20 connected directly into the microphone input on my Sony a6400. And that can work fine. But if you have to run a really long cable, there's a chance to get interference. So that's where the VXLR Pro comes in handy for connecting to an audio interface instead. And now you're listening to me on the CM20 connected directly into the Focusrite Scarlett 8i6 using this adapter. And I have the gain on the Scarlett set at 1130, and we're using 48 volts phantom power from the Scarlett as well. So this is a common application here. You're not going to notice very much difference between this and the a6400, but where the difference comes in is if you got a really long cable run. That's where that balanced XLR connection is really useful. And because a number of you might have a mixer that puts out 12 volts of phantom power, and the VXLR Pro is rated to work from 12 to 48 volts, now you're hearing me on the CM20 connected again to the 8i6, but this time the phantom power is coming from a Behringer PS400. I've got 12 volts phantom power here. And now I've switched over to the Deity VLav. This is an inexpensive lavalier microphone. Again, pretty good representation, what I think a lot of you are using. Here I have it connected directly into the Sony a6400. So here again, the camera preamp. Now we'll go ahead and switch over to the VXLR Pro through the Scarlett 8i6. And now I've connected the VLav up to the Scarlett 8i6 using the VXLR Pro so you can hear if there's any difference here. This is 48 volts phantom power. And this is the VLav on the 8i6, but this time with 12 volts phantom power. And now I moved back onto the CV20 connected directly into the Scarlett 8i6 with the VXLR Pro. And you know, having that balanced line directly to the audio interface is really going to save you from a lot of RF and EM interference. And of course, we all know that can just ruin your recordings. These little 3.5mm connections are okay for a very small run, say from the mic to a camera. But if you got to run a little more of a distance, definitely a balanced signal is the way to go. And if you use an on-camera shotgun mic to record your videos, check out this affordable alternative to the Rode VideoMic NTG.